What's up, everyone? Today I've got some more nickels to hunt. I haven't done a bag or a box in a while, but I'm back on the bags right now. I think I'm gonna do pretty decent with it. You can typically expect silver, buffaloes, old nickels, all sorts of crazy things in these bags. I found some key dates. I found really nice condition 40s and even earlier Jeffersons. I found some nice ones in the 30s, so I'm looking forward to it. And I am in a hotel again for this one. I do not like carrying these up in my backpack here, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. I was out of town, so needed to get a video out for everyone. And I think this is pretty nifty. The little table thing I got it on actually moves around so I can get different angles and whatever. So I like this setup. We're gonna do some hotel coin roll hunting, or coin bag hunting, I should say. And hopefully I can get some good finds. I will show you all when I get my first one. I just wanted to show, I haven't opened the bag yet, but I saw an older looking nickel just on the outside. Check that out, 1943. That is going to be a silver war nickel, 35% silver. So we are going to be on the board of silver, so that is a great sign. And I'll see if we can pull anything else good. So I just tore this bag open because I wanted to get at that war nickel right there. So let's take a look at this. It's going to be 1943 with a Denver mint mark. Sweet. Starting off with silver, and hopefully there's some more in here. Check out this beauty. I was just going through these pretty slow and uncovered a pretty uncirculated looking 1971D. Let's flip it and see if we have any steps. I don't have my microscope on me, so I can't get a too close of a look here, but it does have a few steps. I do see some dings, so I don't think that would get full steps, but I think all the steps are there. That is a beautiful nickel. I'll be holding on to that one for sure. It's a decent second find to keep us going. We don't have any 40s nickels other than the war nickel so far, but I have hope. I think this is going to be a good bag, and I will keep at it. I think we'll get a lot of finds. So I'm still pretty much at the beginning of the bag, and I found this. This is a very bizarre looking nickel. I think this could be an error, but I'm not 100% sure. Another thing it could be is potentially somebody like soldered it or put some kind of weird plating on it. But it's just weird. It looks like most of E pluribus unum is gone up there. This is all weak on the bottom. And if we look on this side of the coin in the light a little bit, it looks like there's like metal on top of the Liberty and the date. Which almost has me thinking it could be like some kind of cud. This is just a really weird coin. I'm gonna try to get some solid answers on it, but hopefully it's something good. It doesn't look like any kind of damage or really any errors that I've ever seen, so it's an odd coin right there for sure. I'm gonna have an old one here. I can tell you from coin roll hunting for quite a while that it's either gonna be early 40s or late 30s. Could be a little bit newer. Sometimes they wear down pretty good when they're in the upper 40s as well, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be an older one. Let's see what we have. And it is a 1939. That's a second year Jefferson. And there's no mint mark for a key date, and I don't see any doubling on the Monticello for a DDR, but I'll take it. That's an old Jefferson to get us going on the non-silver old nickels. Check that out. We are going to have our second 1939 back-to-back. Let's see if we have a mint mark on this one. Again, no mint mark, and the reverse is pretty chewed up. I also do not see doubling on this one, but I will take it. Board with another 40s find here. It's been mostly 30s for a while now, but we've got a 1947 Philadelphia, pretty common date, but I'm happy to have it. Same handful I was just going through, I pulled another 40s find. This one is a little bit older. We've got a 1940 Philadelphia. We've got a second 1940 here. This one is a Philly, and it's pretty beat up. And down below, I do see a couple potential old ones here as well. It's got an S min mark, so that potentially could be a semi-key if it's in the 30s. Unfortunately, that's another 1940, so we've got two right here that we just found. And this one to me also looks pretty old. Let's take a look and see if we have anything here. That's going to be a 1948 Denver. 3 quick finds. It's awesome. We are doing pretty good on the finds here. This is the keeper pile. I just would like to see more silver or potentially something else good like a buffalo. So we're gonna have another double find here actually. I noticed this out of the corner of my eye that was sticking out, and going through the nickels, this edge didn't look anything special to me, but we are gonna have a foreign here, the same exact size as a nickel. This one is a 2004 Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I found quite a few of these. This one has the pineapple on it. Almost just lost it there and I'm making a mess on the floor, but that's gonna be the first foreign find of the hunt. And this looks Mexican. Let's see what this is gonna be. It's gonna be a 2000 Estados Unidos Mexicanos. And that is, I wanna say 1 peso. So we will take that. Not a bad keeper pile, because I'm probably not even halfway done. I'd say maybe a third. So there's still a lot to go through, and I have hope that we can find a lot of good nickels in this bag. We've got a 1949 here. This is a potential semi-key if we've got an estimate mark. So let's flip it around and see if we've got that semi-key date. And it's a Philadelphia mint, so no semi-key. But that's going to be another one for the keepers. We've got a very dirty 1939 here, but the details are actually pretty sharp. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it and see if we have a mint mark for a key date. Let's take a look. And there's not going to be a mint mark. I don't see any doubling on Monticello from the naked eye. So I think it's just a plain 39. It's still in good shape though. It's kind of a bummer it's so dirty, but I will accept that as a find for sure. I've got a foreign here, it looks like, and it's got a reeded edge and it looks pretty worn. So I'm hoping it's an old one. Hopefully we can get some foreign silver in here. But I'm going to, I just dropped a bunch of nickels all over the floor. I'm going to see what we have. It's actually glued. Oh, it's not. I thought it was glued to a nickel. It's going to be a 1979 20 cents from Mexico. I don't know if it's cents. It's whatever their denomination is, but that's cool. I've never found this one before. I highly doubt it's silver, but it's a cool find. I like finding foreigns I've never come across, and this one's actually in pretty perfect shape, it looks like. So it's cool. And as long as I've got you, this one caught my eye. Got an estimate mark. 1940. It's kind of a bummer. If it was a year or two older, we'd have a semi-key. But that's 2 more finds. Got a pretty good pile right there. Well, this edge is sticking out a lot. That is certainly a foreign coin. That is not American. Let's see what we have here. It's going to be 25 cents, 2008 from Bermuda. That's cool. I think we did find another Bermuda coin. Let's see if I can find it. This one here. Actually, that is Bahamas, but they're 2 islands. That's pretty cool. A lot of foreigns in this bag. That's going to be, I think, 4 right now. And I have seen some Canadians that I didn't mention just because I find those all the time. But, yeah, nickels, for whatever reason, I always find a ton of foreigns in those bags. But we want old American coins, although foreigns are cool. So let's keep grinding out this bag. We still got a lot to go. This might be an old one here, actually. Saw that out of the corner of my eye. Just a 64. We'll keep looking, though. We've got another old one here. I'm not sure on the year yet, but we will find out together. This one is it's a bummer, 1942. So could have been a war nickel if it was minted a little bit later in the year. That's unfortunate. And I believe if it had a D mint mark, it would be a better date. It does not have that either, so a bit of a bummer, but at least it's another find. We've got a mint markless nickel here, but I can tell you it's an old one. It's a little bit dinged up on the bottom of the reverse here, but let's see what year we have. And it is a 1947. Got an old nickel here in pretty decent shape, and it's got an S mint mark, so let's hope we got 30s for a semi-key. And it's actually going to be 50s. That's a bummer. That is a lot newer than I was expecting. Got a 1954 S. I will not be keeping that. It's a bit of a bummer, but we do still have a lot of finds. I think we're at 18 at this point, so I don't think it's too far-fetched to think that we can get over 20. So that would be a pretty decent bag. A little bit upsetting that we haven't found more silver, but this could be another find right here as long as we're here. Yep, 1941. I'll add that to the pile. I think that makes 19. I'm sorry for my disgusting hands, by the way. Coin roll hunting definitely makes your fingers look pretty filthy. But I'm gonna keep going here. I would say there's probably like a quarter, a fifth of the bag left, but still potential for something good in here. We will see. I've got a 1939 here. We've found a few of them in this hunt. Let's see if we can get lucky and get a mint mark on it. We do not have one. I don't see any doubling. A little bit of a bummer, but more finds for the pile. Cannot complain too much about that. So I've actually got another 1939 pretty soon after that other one. Let's see if we can get lucky on this one and get that mint mark. We cannot, unfortunately. Another 39 though. I think we've got 4 or 5 on the hunt so far. Those are pretty decent numbers for a coin that old. I'm happy with that. The bag slowed down quite a bit with how frequently I'm finding things, but we do have another one here. Getting pretty close to the end here. We're getting to the nitty gritty. But I've got a 1940 Philadelphia. I want to say that is fine like 21 or 22 now. We do have a lot of finds. Not the best in my opinion. We do have some decent ones, but like I said before, usually like 2 war nickels is a decent bag for me. 1 is a little bit disappointing, but we still do have some coins left to search, so I'm not giving up hope yet. Got a 1940 nickel here. This one is Philadelphia minted and it's pretty gross, but another find nonetheless. So we are gonna have a low mintage, more modern Jefferson here. I don't think this is technically a key date at this point, but it is speculated that it will be eventually. We have a 2009 D. The nickels in particular from 2009 are pretty tough to find. I typically like don't seek these out, but if it's staring me right in the face like this, I'm not gonna throw it back. I should probably start looking for these honestly, because I'm sure I could come up with quite a lot of them. And I think right now they're selling for a little bit of a premium. I'll have to double check on eBay before the end of the video. But yeah, I mean, eventually these are probably going to be worth a bit of money. Probably be a few decades down the road before they're worth like a substantial amount, but it's not a bad idea to start holding on to them. Not in the greatest shape. There is some tarnish or dirt on there or something, but I'll keep a 2009. And like I said, I should probably keep these in the future as well. I recommend you guys keep them as well. I got this 1958 nickel here, and it's in pretty good shape to begin with, which is pretty cool. But the real nice thing about this coin is on the reverse. So when I saw this, I went ahead and flipped it. Just wanted to check out for errors, and we do have an error here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit for you guys. So I'm actually kind of leaning towards a die crack right there. It's either a die chip or a die crack. You can see the little chunk of metal on top of the Monticello. But if you look really closely at like where that pillar should be, it looks like there's a crack going all the way down. It's like you can see some more little pieces of metal on the bottom. So I'm assuming that's going to be a die crack. That is potentially a die chip, but I'm leaning towards die crack for sure. But either way, it's an old error. It's always really cool finding errors from, 60, 70 years ago that are still in pretty good shape. This one is probably VF to AU range, so it's a cool find right there. We are getting down to the very end here. I actually do have an old looking one on camera here. Let's see what that is. So that is going to be 40s 1949. Let's see if it has an S mint mark for the semi key. It does have a mint mark, but it's not the one we want to see. It's Denver minted. But check out all these finds. I mean, for not finding a lot of silver or anything else like incredible, this has got to be a record for the number of finds in a bag. This is a lot. Like normally I can get, I'd say like 15, maybe 20 if I'm lucky. I'd say I'm probably pushing 25 right now. So that's cool. So I'm at the bottom of the bag here and I managed to squeak out one more find. We're gonna have a second 2009. This one's from Philadelphia, the other one is from Denver, and this one is in better shape. It's in pretty good shape, to be honest. So we've got a total set of 2009s other than San Francisco, so that's pretty sweet. And we've got a ton of finds here. So I'm gonna organize these ones up and we will do a wrap up for this $200 nickel bag. What is up, guys? I'm back with some more coins right now. We've got all nickels here. I was able to go out and get some customer wraps, so typically I do pretty decent with these. Lately it's been a little bit slower, but hopefully we can get lucky here and get on some good finds to add on to that bag we hunted. So let's get to it, and I will bring you in on the first find if we get any. So out of 28 rolls, I am now on roll 4, and I've got my first find here. It's going to be a 1941 San Francisco, and it could have a grease strike through. That could also be just wear, but you can see E pluribus unum. It's pretty weak. You can barely see some of those letters, so either way, I will keep it, and I'll show you guys when I get another one. So I didn't even think twice about this one just because it looked like a dirty beat-up nickel. But this one is going to be silver. It's kind of hard to see, but on top of the Monticello, you can see a P mint mark. And on the year, let me zoom in and see if we can find a year on it. I definitely see the 4, but it looks like there's a gash through the last digit, so I can't really make that out. It looks like it could be a 3, though. It's definitely the ugliest silver coin I've ever found, but it's still silver, and I am very happy with it. That is one sorry looking coin, though. I'd like to know what happened to that one. We are on the board. It has been a slow go at the nickels here. I don't think I mentioned before, but I am now on roll 20, so gone a long way without finding anything, but that's awesome. Glad to see some silver if we're going to find anything. So I picked up roll 24 and figured this might be something decent, so I should film it live. We've got 6/19/80 marked on the roll, which leads me to believe this was rolled up in June of 1980. And it says 1976. So I'm assuming if these were actually rolled up in 1980, they should be in pretty good shape. So let's take a jab at this roll and see if it's actually going to be from 76 and then what kind of shape they're in if they are. So I do see some 76s coming out of here. But let's just go through these and see if we have any in really good condition. I mean, they all seem to be in decent shape from what I'm seeing so far. I don't see any that are like amazing though. Sorry for my dirty nails. I've been doing some metal detecting, so it happens. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, some of these seem like they've been in circulation longer than the 80s. I wonder if that roll was just marked with that year before it was used to roll up the 76. But we've got, looks like both Philly and Denver in here. Nothing too special yet. If there's nothing like uncirculated or anything, I'll probably just roll this up and send it back. It is pretty cool, but some kind of little collection dump. That one's in pretty decent shape. No steps though, so I won't hold it. Trying to take a look at the reverses of some of these to see if they have full steps. Yeah, these definitely are not BU. They've seen some circulation. Not in the worst shape, but I have seen better. So that was an interesting roll to go through, but I'm going to roll it back up and send it back to the bank. Nothing in there special that I need to keep for my collection, so we will move on. Hopefully in the last few rolls we can come up with something. Well, I feel like a collector probably had been through most of those rolls because we did not get a lot of finds for over half a box worth of nickels. We got the Really pitiful looking silver. The P mint mark, it's got a lot of pitting and I don't even know what that is, some crazy environmental damage. And just a 41S, so I will gather the finds from that bag we searched as well and give a final wrap up for this one. That's a wrap on this nickel hunt. We did get a lot of finds. Not as much silver as I was hoping. I also would have liked to get a buffalo, but we still got 2 and I'm happy with that. And we did get a lot of finds in general. So let's get into the details here. That last war nickel I found, the date isn't extremely legible, but I think it could be a 43 or 42. I think I see a curve on the top. It's going to be Philadelphia minted. Absolutely destroyed coin. I've got a 1943 Denver here. 71D in pretty uncirculated condition. It's got a lot of steps on the reverse, so that one I will be keeping separate, putting that one in a flip. This one's also going in a flip. It looks like it has a die crack. That's going to be the 1958D. Right on top of the Monticello there, you can see that lump of metal. It could be either a die crack or a die chip. I feel like there's a pretty decent chance at either. Either way, though, it's a cool error, and it's a nice condition coin as well. So I'd say those were the top finds of the hunt. We've also got, let's do a count here, 19 old 39 through 49 nickels here. We actually found a lot of 39s. We found 5 of them, and the rest are all going to be 40s, pretty common. But that's going to be it for the older Jeffersons. Nothing too out of the ordinary. We got a 2008 25-cent piece from Bermuda with Elizabeth II on it. We have got this 1979 20-cent coin from Mexico. I believe that would be a 20-cent coin. Also from Mexico, we've got this one from 2000. We have got a Commonwealth of the Bahamas 2004 5-cent piece. Got the pineapple on the reverse there. The 2009s that I decided to keep, 2009P. This one is in pretty decent shape. And a little more rough is this 2009D. Happy to find those though. Like I said, I typically don't go out of my way to look for these, but I think I'm going to start doing that. They're just too uncommon to pass by, I feel like, and it's more finds to add to the pile. And this one, I still am not completely sure what's going on with. Kind of leaning more towards some kind of crazy damage, but I feel like this one could go either way as well. It's just a really weird looking nickel. Just the, the smoothness on the right side of the coin and how it's kind of raised, like, kind of makes me question if this is damage or not. So I'll probably be just putting this one to the side with my miscellaneous coin finds until I can determine what's going on with it. But either way, crazy looking nickel. I decided I had to pull it to the side here. But that is it for this one. Thank you all for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, drop a comment. Give me a subscription if you're new to the channel. I am planning on doing these nickel bags a lot more regularly. I'm thinking maybe once every 1 to 2 weeks. So I'm going to be grinding these out quite a bit, trying to get up the war nickel count, maybe the buffaloes. And of course, you never know what kind of foreigns will pop up in these bags. So thanks again, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and have a good one.